What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with 2 times reigning 212 Olympia champion Keone Pearson and a question on where he would have placed at this year's Pro against Martin-Fitzwater and Chris Bumstead. Now I have got to say it is not insane to think that the 2024 Miss Olympia physique of Keone Pearson that could have won this entire show, meaning even at 200 pounds of stage weight, he is so damn good that only 3 bodybuilders on the planet right now, they can beat him, and that includes Hadi Choopan, Derek and Samson. And there is such a great commonality between all of these 3 guys. All of these guys, they have won the Olympia title in the recent past. Now you have got to agree with Jay Cutler's prediction about Keone Pearson that it is going to be another story, like Derek Linford, who will win the Olympia title in 2 different divisions.
That kid's just he's just waiting, because when he comes, he's coming. I mean, he's going to be a Hadi Derek story for sure.
Yeah, he's still got a ways to go though.
He's
I think he's 20s.
So the comparison between Keone Pearson and Martin-Fitzwater, that could have been so amazing to see for all of us fans, because they are of similar heights, and both of these guys hit that vacuum. And although I get that Martin-Fitzwater, he outweighs Keone Pearson by over 30 pounds, but the thing is, we have seen it so many times that Keone will not look smaller standing next to any of these guys, because when he opens up, it is pure insanity, because he looks so damn wide and so massive. So we saw in one of his videos after the Olympia this year that he has made it pretty clear that he wants to stay in the 212 division and win as many Olympia titles in the 212 as he can. And if you are being totally honest here, he has absolutely no competition in the 212, at least as of right now. And everyone else, they are just fighting for second place. But comments like these, by some of the legends of the sport, like Jay Cutler, they might inspire Keone Pearson to enter an open show and see how he compares. Plus, the huge disparity between the prize money in the open in comparison to the 212. That is another reason to maybe consider men's open bodybuilding for the future. But do let me know what you guys think. Should Keone Pearson switch to the men's open bodybuilding as early as he possibly can? So this is today's update of Regan Grimes, and straight away you guys can just tell that the man has put on some real size, especially in his back. Now we all know the back has always been a very strong area for Regan Grimes. Top to bottom, he has been so awesome in the back department. He has those guitar-like hamstrings. He can showcase an insane amount of detail, and he has so much thickness in his lower half. Now that Milo SF, he is no longer the coach of Regan Grimes, he gave a strange opinion about Regan Grimes, that he doesn't train as heavy as he should, considering how strong he is.
Well, you know, Regan, let's put it this way. He was here, but he didn't really want to train with me too much because he can't handle my training, right? So when you are here and you don't really want to train, you kind of...
Now, Jay Cutler also pointed out this thing a few months back, that he doesn't want to see Regan Grimes smiling while working out. Basically, both these guys want Regan 100% focused on the training and being a better bodybuilder for the men's open class.
Super strong. Like, you can imagine how strong he is. I'm serious. Shoulders, back, even legs, right? But there is that point that, okay, many times he doesn't go there.
And you have to believe that 2025 is going to be the year where Regan really shows up at his all-time best, because he has been pro for so many years now. I mean, he's one of those guys who turned pro back in 2017. So you can already consider him a veteran of the sport. And if he wants to make some big jumps and move into that first call out at the Olympia level, then this next year, this is the time to do that. Now, I'm not really sure if Regan will consider doing this upcoming Arnold in March, but if he does, he can be one of the biggest storylines going into that show, since there is no Hadi Choopan, no Derek, no Martin, no Nick Walker, and Regan Grimes is going to be returning to the stage for the very first time since the Olympia last year, which will certainly give him more anticipation, more exposure, and more hype by the fans, because all of us will be curious to see how will he compare to guys like Samson Dauda and Andrew Jacked, now that he has another long off season under his belt. And how much muscle has he been able to pack on in this last 1 year?
So do you think he's going with Stefan so he can just ditch the training and do what he wants to do?
No. But the
So next up, we have the recent physique update of Hassan Mustafa. And keep in mind, this is from today. So it seems like Hassan Mustafa is going to be starting his prep for the next show very soon. And with him being very lean at the starting point of his prep, that is such a great sign. Because the only reason he did terribly in both the shows that he did this year, that was due to the fact he just wasn't in shape in both of these shows. And the man was far off in terms of his conditioning. Now with the amount of muscle that Hassan Mustafa has on his frame, he can probably win most of the shows that he enters. I'm sure he would have won both Chicago as well as Van Pro if he was in the same condition as he was at the Olympia last year. Or maybe Toronto Pro 2023, because the judges just cannot ignore so much size and so much freak factor, especially if he is in shape, if he is in that top-notch conditioning. Now there is just no sugarcoating this thing, that Hassan Mustafa missed his mark big time at both the shows that he did this year. And him not even placing in the top 5 at this year's Van Pro, where he was the defending champion, that speaks volume on how far off he really was. So Hassan Mustafa split up with AJ Sims because he had some health issues leading into the Olympia 2022. And we have to keep in mind, he was qualified for the Olympia that year because he won 2 shows back to back. But he pulled out of the Olympia that year, just 2 weeks out of that show. But we have to keep in mind, Hassan was the most consistent when AJ Sims was the one coaching him, compared to any other coach that Hassan has worked with over the years. Now I have got to say, if all things are in order, AJ is a great choice for 2025 for Hassan Mustafa, because nobody got Hassan more shredded than AJ Sims. So Hassan is currently over 300 pounds. But the thing is, he doesn't intend to get any bigger, because he is already one of the most massive and one of the most muscular guy in the men's open. All he needs to do is to come in ripped to the bone and absolutely shred it. And he is gonna win multiple shows next year. Next up, we have an update from Muhammad Foda, who is a perfect example that not everybody is a success story, like Martin-Fitzwater at their first ever Miss Olympia, at their Olympia debuts. The top 10 at the Olympia, they are the best of the best in the world, and that is just a whole new level. And the only time you get to see that level is when you stand next to them and really get compared with those mass monsters and those freak of natures. So Foda fell below his own expectations at his first ever Miss Olympia. He was aiming for a top 10 finish, but he now admits that maybe he rushed the process. So Foda is also an example that not every athlete or one coach can be at the same level. For instance, in this case, Stefan, who is the hottest coach in the industry right now, who is the coach of the 4th best bodybuilder in the world, Martin-Fitzwater. So not every one of his athletes, they are going to be 100% in every single show they enter. So is Foda changing his coach for 2025? Well, the answer is no. He is sticking with Stefan, and they had a good run this year. A win in Chicago Pro, a 2nd place in Tampa Pro. Previously, he was working with Hani Rambod, and he never placed in the top 3 with Hani Rambod in both of the shows that they did together. So moving forward, Foda intends to take a big part of 2025 totally off and get bigger and really put on some solid muscle, really grow, especially in certain areas, like for instance his back, and possibly compete close to the Olympia next year. So he can take the maximum advantage of this long off season and really put on some solid muscle. The young Spanish sensation, Onepadels, he is going to be making his comeback to the men's open stage sometime next year, after a gap of almost 2 years. Now that is a big break away from the stage, but he made this tough call, not to compete, not to rush to the stage, and I have got to say that was the right call, because the thing is he took this decision so early in his career, and that is going to help him so much in the future, because he is still very young, and he has all the time in the world. So one needed more size, more mass, more muscle. So since turning pro, one has only done 1 show, and that was Emperor Classic Spain back in 2022. And that, I have got to say, was a real eye-opener for a guy like One, standing next to all these mass monsters like Michael Crizzle, Andrea Presti, and so many others. So he went back to the drawing board right after that. But if we take a look at all of his recent updates, He has put on an impressive amount of mass, an impressive amount of size on all of his body, and he has stayed in a decent condition, in a decent shape at this point in his off-season. So the most noticeable thing in his physique in the last 2 years is that his aesthetics has gotten a lot better because his quads got way bigger than they used to be in the past when he turned pro. So looking forward to his return to the stage sometime next year and show us an altogether different physique and an improved bodybuilder overall. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.